Today, I want to talk about the Star Wars TV show Andor. Recently, the final season, season 2, ended, and it wrapped up pretty nice. And I just need to talk about it because if you've watched any of my videos or have heard anything about me, even if it's one person who's heard about it, you know that I don't like Andor. I'm very serious. I do not like Andor, but I have to say the second season has changed me a little bit. Not much, but just enough. Now, I'm not going to talk about the first season too much. I'm not going to give a full synopsis about the second season either. I just want to give my opinion on the second season. So as I've seen over the past 2 years, and actually over the past few weeks, my opinion is the unpopular one in not liking Andor. Everyone likes Andor. Everyone is on board. Everyone thinks it is some of the best Star Wars content ever created, and I am the exact total opposite. Reason being is because Andor, for me, feels like a cheap knockoff. Now, it wasn't cheap by any means, and it actually cost way more than it should have. But it does not feel like Star Wars whatsoever. It feels like a Blade Runner knockoff. It feels like some kind of parody of Star Wars. Just because you throw stormtroopers in there and you have the Empire does not make you feel like it is Star Wars. In my opinion, the one thing that ties it all together, that makes you feel like it's Star Wars, is the music. Now, I understand that John Williams is not going to be making music for all of these shows, but it is possible to make it feel like it is Star Wars. The Mandalorian, whoever did the music for that, I don't know, makes it sound like Star Wars, and it feels like a very nostalgic Star Wars. It feels like I'm watching some of the 80s stuff, and it's so good. Another thing is that of all the shows, this is the one that got 12 episodes. Why didn't Obi-Wan get 12 episodes? If they changed the story around a little bit, they could have had 12 episodes. The Mandalorian did not get 12 episodes. And all these shows that did not get 12 episodes ran short, and they actually spent way too much time on different characters aside from the main character, which this show actually did. Now, I do understand Cassian Andor was just a reason to have this show. He was a character they wanted to focus on, but basically it was just a focus on how the Empire is reigning over the galaxy and how the rebellion is created. I completely understand that, and I have to say I actually did enjoy that. There were many characters that I did love in this show. The actors are incredible. Skarsgård, the guy who played Luthen, fantastic. Mon Mothma, fantastic. Her getting rescued by Cassian was an incredible episode. The guy who plays Cassian, perfect. And even though I didn't really see the need to replace Bail Organa, I guess there were scheduling issues, they could have waited and used the real Bail Organa, but he did him justice, I guess. And of course, director Krennic, probably my favorite character of the entire show, and he was barely in it. I love Krennic. He was fantastic in Rogue One, and I love that they brought him in. I wish they would have used him way more. But as a whole, there were a lot of episodes that were just filler, especially in the first season. There's like 3 episodes that are just snooze. I'm falling asleep. I was distracted. If I'm pulled to the point where I'm looking at my phone during a show, I'm not interested. Now, I watch an unhealthy amount of movies, shows, and there are plenty of stuff out there that captures my attention. Personally, for me, Andor is not one of the shows that just sucks me in and just keeps me going. But the main reason is because when I'm watching it, I don't feel like I'm watching anything that has to do with Star Wars. There are characters in there that feel like they could be Star Wars characters, but the music is what really just turns me off. I feel like I'm watching Blade Runner, maybe even Star Trek, or even Stargate, or whatever show, or another sci-fi show that has to do with an evil force and these good guys trying to go against them. That's all that it felt like to me. The first season, I really could deal without. I'll probably never watch it again. I keep saying that I want to go back and watch it, and maybe my opinion will have changed, and I don't think it will. The second season, there were just too many episodes that really detached me from the show. And there's one episode that really bothered me, and I don't really want to talk about it, but I want to touch on just a little bit. At the end of season 2, episode 3, they're at this planet that looks like it's just all crop fields, and the Empire is going through each sector and trying to wean out any people who are there illegally. The character Bix is on that planet, and she's still suffering from the PTSD of being tortured and whatever else happened to her in season 1. And this Imperial officer finds her and starts to make advances on her. She fights him off. Nothing really happens, but you knew where it was going. and then she shouted the R word. And I think we all know what word she was shouting. And that she was just, I'm being attacked. He was going to attack me. And I just couldn't believe it. Why is this happening? Now I get it. I know a lot of you out there, I've seen it all over comments on other videos. This is what the Empire does. They do these things. They're evil. They kill people. They destroyed a whole planet. I get that. I understand they are evil, and I'm not saying something like this has not happened in the galaxy far, far away, but we haven't seen it. And no, we didn't actually see anything real, but we saw an actual attack that resulted in her saying what it was. And I don't think it was necessary within Star Wars. It's the same thing where the argument has been made, oh, Anakin killed a whole bunch of younglings. Did you see it? Did you see him cut down a whole bunch of little kids? No, you didn't. That never happened. You didn't see it. It happened, and we know that it happened, but we didn't see it happen. And just like we didn't need to see her, you could have just had the guy walking up, and then, as you see her, it goes like this, and it pans away, and that's it. It's over. And then you just know that she's coming out of it, she's okay, she killed him, and that's the end. That was probably my least favorite thing out of the entire show, seasons 1 and 2. The first 6 episodes were actually pretty boring for me. The entire wedding took 3 whole episodes, and the next 3 were just Bix suffering from PTSD from that whole incident, and she's like taking drugs to try to like sedate herself and just make her mind numb, and things that don't need to be dwelled on so long. I mean, we're just taking forever to get through this, and things did not get good or start picking up until episode 7. Episodes 7 through 12 were the best episodes of the entire show. I actually genuinely enjoyed them. They were so good. I was a little confused, and I actually did understand pretty quick, but I didn't understand what the whole Gorman thing was and what they were doing on that planet until it realized and it clicked, oh, they're looking for kyber crystals. And that took the entire season. And then when they finally make you understand that this was like what started everything, and the realization of what the Empire is actually doing, trying to create the Death Star. They're going to multiple planets and researching different things to mine the kyber crystals for the Death Star. That's when it got interesting. And when Cassian went to Gorman in the, I think, 7 through 9, those were fantastic episodes. The Gorman onslaught and basically genocide was insane. And it was so crazy that you couldn't help but to just be locked in. I think one of the funniest things actually was when that one officer that has been tracking down Cassian since season 1 sees him, fights him, they wrestle around in that restaurant, in that hotel lobby, and then Cassian says, "Who are you? Like, who are you that you're attacking me right now?" And the fact that he just smacked him in the face verbally by saying, "I don't know who you are." And this guy's like, "I've been following you for years, dude." And then he gets his head blown off. But before this season ever came out, I always said that I knew it was going to get better the closer and closer they got to Rogue One. And that's exactly what happened. The last 3 episodes were finally realizing that the Empire is building the Death Star. Luthen then meets his contact from the Empire, and the contact reveals that they are actually making this weapon. This is actually happening. The Death Star is being created, and then things start to unfold. Luthen ends up dying, which kind of upset me, but we don't see him in Rogue One or in any other Star Wars, and a character that big probably had to have died before the events of Rogue One, or else he would have been in other things. Luthen ends up stabbing himself, so he's not captured, but he is. They're keeping him alive, but barely. His assistant sneaks into that hospital and basically kind of just finishes off the job because he has information. And she knows that the Empire is going to torture him for the information that he was told. So she kind of just takes off his breathing machine or whatever is keeping him alive, and then reaches out to Cassian and the Rebellion and asks for help. Cassian then, of course, goes to Coruscant, rescues her, brings her back to Yavin 4, and then that's it. And then we kind of move into the events of Rogue One, and he's going to be going to that planet where he's seen first in Rogue One. If it wasn't for those last 6 episodes of season 2, I would have despised this show. I just don't like it. A lot of it is just boring to me. A lot of it is just focused on characters I do not care about, like the 2 Imperial officers that are having some weird relationship, and then we have to watch like weird cringy dinners with this guy's mom and his girlfriend. It's just really weird. very unnecessary, and it's just a waste of time. I get it. We're trying to understand these people's lives and understand the Empire more and what's going on within the Empire and what other people are doing, but I don't really need those kinds of connections. I'd rather see more about Cassian. What's going on with him? What is he dealing with more? And we do get to see what he deals with, but I want to see it in great length. Show me everything that's going on with Cassian Andor. To rank this show, I really have to dig deep to grab this one. I'm not going to rank season 1. I'm not going to rank the show as a whole. I'm just going to rank season 2. I'm going to give it a 7. And honestly, that's generous for me. At the beginning of this season, I wanted to give it a 4 or a 5. But after the last 6 episodes, I'm at a 7. And I could maybe do a 7.5. I don't know if I could pull myself to do 8. But the last 6 episodes were fantastic. They were a bunch of 8s, and I really think that's the reason why I'm giving it a 7. I honestly cannot wait for the comments on this one. For anyone who sees it in shorts, or if they see it in reels on TikTok or just the main video, I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of people saying, "You're out of your mind. This is the best thing since Empire Strikes Back." I mean, I've seen that comment places before, and that's just ridiculous. You can like the show, but don't make a comment like that. You're nuts. I can see the show and its value. It looks absolutely incredible. It looks fantastic. Visually, it's great. The script actually is great. And if it wasn't trying to be Star Wars, I would like it so much more. I think it actually is really good, but if it wasn't Star Wars. I think I've repeated myself enough, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out, give it a review, give it a rank. Thank you for watching this video. I can't wait to read the comments. Please like and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next video.